right. Fire away.
What was the most encouraging part of Drew's game last week?
Well, I think everybody in a game setting got to see some of the real improvement that we've seen behind the scenes in our practice settings, in our meeting rooms. He's able to get a couple big plays. He was efficient. He did the right thing for us in the run game, all the things we're asking, and ultimately got us in the end zone.
What was your impression of Javonte Williams? Obviously, you had talked about how pleased you'd been with just his approach to everything. To actually kind of see him out there and put it together that way.
I think it's the same. I think anytime you have a game setting, it's amped up, and I thought he handled it really well. Had some really good runs. Again, he did, from the coach's view, what we asked, and I think the arrow's up. I think he's got a really bright future. So, we're at this stage of training camp, and now the challenge is everybody's got different things they need to get done before we play our first game against the Giants, and we have 2 preseason games that are greatly important for a lot of the guys on this team. And so, he's going to continue to work, but we were pleased with his first outing.
What does Drew need to do against Seattle to show that he's taken enough steps to become the starter?
Play well, right? I mean, unfortunately, you guys are all charged with doing the math on everything. But, he just needs to play well, and I think we talk about the quarterback thing behind the scenes and in private, all the time. And, I think that's really kind of the topic, and that's for Coach to discuss with you publicly. But he just needs to play well and continue on the right path. We've seen the improvement. We've seen a young player, in my opinion, get better with an offseason and now a training camp, and we're all together, and he can deal with me a little better. We all work together better. And he's also in a position where he's competing with another player who's doing an excellent job. So that's the type of setting we as coaches want to create at all positions, and we're just kind of focusing on the quarterback.
Since you and Mike Shurmur got Teddy in the building, where has he made his best strides? Knowledge of the scheme, fundamentals?
Yeah, well, knowledge of the scheme, certainly we had, Teddy and I had common background with scheme, but just getting used to things, cadence, how we function here. Every pro organization is professional in their approach, but how you handle meetings and practice is a little bit different. And I think that's just getting to know the Broncos and our quarterback room and how we function on offense.
How's Corbin coming along, and how do you balance how much snappy you get in these 2 games?
Yeah, I mean, he's doing great. And again, he's on track to be ready to go. So we'll just see. I mean, I'm not here for any big reveal on how long guys are going to play. I'll let Coach do that. He's much better at that than me. But he's on track, and we feel good about his progress. And, again, I look at it like we're still in training camp, and the preseason games are ways for us to practice and improve what we do so that we're ready to go week 1.
Kind of back to what you were saying about, we talk about it a lot. If you had to put a percentage on quarterback conversation versus the rest of the offense, the coaches are in the building because it's obviously what we hear fans talk about.
Well, the people that need to talk about the quarterbacks do. I mean, I don't put percentages on. We talk about all the players all the time. So that's just what you do. When you're in a position where you got to take a group of 90 and cut it down to 53, there's constant conversation about all the players, how well they're doing, how they match up. And those are, I mean, I'm not revealing anything. That's happening in 32 buildings because we need to pick the right 53 guys and practice squad players, to get ready to go week 1.
But is the quarterback conversation?
I mean, again, I'm not trying to give you a headline, and I won't. I mean, we talk about that like we do other things.
A couple days ago, we were seeing getting animated a little bit.
Again with this.
What? I wasn't a couple days ago. Oh, yeah, that was the crowd noise day. I was more ticked off at technology because when we amped up the sound, for whatever reason, Drew's helmet went off, so I couldn't communicate with him. I wasn't upset with Drew. I was just ticked at the situation. So, and again, I get animated a lot. I just don't make it about me, and I try to keep it from you. But that had nothing to do with Drew. Nothing to do with Drew. And again, sadly, because we're all trying to do the math on everything, and you got to keep track of all those things. That's just one thing that was probably misread. Right.
Hey, Pat, you're going to be facing a Pete Carroll tree defense early with the Jets and then a couple of times with the Raiders. Is this a good test run to get some looks, or is it too vanilla at this point?
No, I think it's great. There are about 4 or 5, maybe 6 real different styles of defense that you face, and this is one that's it's been tested over the course of time. A lot of one high safety. A lot of man, a lot of 3 deep, a lot of guys down close to the ball trying to stop the run. And in preseason, they play a little bit more man, probably to see who can cover, in their discussions, who their best 53 are, But it's a challenge. And the good thing for us is it's different than the style that we face here in practice. And so that's the unintended consequence of getting ready to play against these guys.
What are your impressions so far of the run game?
Unintended advantage, I would say.
Unintended.
Yeah, right.
Your impressions so far of the run game, and more specifically what you saw out of Javonte in that game against the Vikings?
Yeah, I think I think we did some good things in the run. I think that's running the ball as well as not giving up sacks. Those are team things. Obviously starts up front. But the back's got to run the right pass. They got to look at the right things. We need to get good blocking on the perimeter. The quarterback needs to make sure we're in the right play and carry out his fakes. So all the things. But I thought it was a good start. I mean, I'm usually not somebody that gets too fired up during the preseason games, because I sort of think of them as another opportunity to improve, much like practice. And so I think we're on the right track. And again, we just got to keep continuing to improve.
A couple days ago, Concussion Legacy Foundation came out with this thing saying that kids shouldn't play tackle football until 14. Any thoughts on that recommendation? And can kids learn from flag football the fundamentals?
Yeah, I think this is the most amazing game in the world, and I think the younger we expose, our children to it, I think it's a good thing, but it needs to be done in a safe way. And if flag football is the way to go, that's the way to go. I was playing tackle since about the 4th grade, so I don't know any different. It's probably why I walk crooked, but I don't know. I mean, I think anything we do, we need to do safely. And I think that's important. But for us to be able to teach our game, I think is wonderful. This, and we know as coaches, and by covering it, when you see what goes into it and all the great things that come of it, I'm just hopeful we all do what we can to keep it going.
Okay, thank you, Coach.